This episode is brought to you by Ariston Specialties in Bloomfield, Connecticut, makers of amazing olive oils and other Greek delights. Check them out online at aristonspecialties.com. That's Ariston, Ariston, specialties.com. You are at faithmiddleton.com, and this is the Food Schmooze Party. Its new home, its podcast home, is online at faithmiddleton.com. I'm with my buddies. You're going to hear about them in just a second. What are we doing today? Well, we started thinking about this. You know, all kinds of diets have been around for decades, and some are popular for stretches of time. And there is one diet from about 30 years ago that has never gone away. And that is the Mediterranean style of eating. You know, all those fruits and vegetables and that come from Europe and other places too that are just fabulous. And the idea that your way of eating becomes filling your plate up with those things the most of all. So we're going to talk about that. We're going to think about recipe ideas, what this whole thing means. What do they mean when they say Mediterranean eating? If you haven't been to the Mediterranean, you might not know what we're talking about. But I don't know. There's something about it where before I even knew, right, my friends?
Oh, yeah.
Do you see that?
Yeah.
I mean, it's just so delicious.
Mm-hmm.
It's ridiculous. Yep. So it's no burden to eat Mediterranean style. Okay, let me tell you who I'm with. I'm with Carl Franklin, who lives in Quaker Hill, Connecticut. Hey, my buddy. And Chris Prosperi of Metro Beast Restaurant in Simsbury, Connecticut. And, you know, these are the buddies on the show all the time with some other people too. Okay, so Chris, let's start with you. When I say to you, what would you make Mediterranean style? Fruits and vegetables and all this stuff. What would you do?
I love that kind of food. And before I tell you what I would do, let me say, whenever I eat that style of food, I always feel better. I don't know what it is. It's less heavy or whatever. So the first thing that comes to mind and the first thing I love about it is lots of olive oil. I don't know. And not just the Spanish, the Italian, all of it. And if you really sit down and before you start cooking, buy some good olive oils, spend, upwards of $20 for a liter, And
can I jump in and say, Chris,
go ahead.
Look at Moroccan and Spanish olive oil. Those are great. Go ahead. Sorry, I interrupted.
Yes. No, that's great. No, you're 100% right. And they all have unique flavors, and it's just amazing to start. So your base, definitely olive oil in whether it's a salad or you're grilling or marinate, lots and lots of olive oil. And then, like you said, the vegetables is almost the center of the plate, right? I love the, almost the Provence style, that south of France, like the ratatouille kind of thing, like grilling veggies. So that's me right there in the summer. Grilling
tomatoes.
some eggplant, tomato, and zucchini, right? And lots of fresh herbs like basil and oregano mixed in there, a little splash of balsamic. And then I love the dips. I don't know about you guys, those spreads that they have.
You mean like the tzatziki and the hummus?
Yes, hummus. Mahumra is the red pepper, the feta dip. Oh my gosh, all of it. So if you can just see this big pile of grilled veggies on a platter and then little bowls of these dips and then lots of marinated olives. And it is the one vegetarian meal that I eat and not just love, but absolutely love. And when I do it, I don't miss having meat or fish at all.
Yeah.
I don't know what it is. It's just those flavors.
So there's a blurred line between like the Mediterranean and the Middle Eastern meze kind of stuff, right?
That's right.
It's all sort of in that same area.
Yeah, because Africa is part, right? The northern part of Africa is on the Mediterranean.
Yeah.
All right, Egypt, right?
Right.
Yeah, it sort of counts.
Yeah, kind of, right?
The way we're eating.
Yeah. They have hummus wars. That's Egyptian hummus, best hummus. No. Israeli hummus, best hummus.
Yeah.
There's no such thing as Israeli hummus.
Yeah.
They get into it.
All right, that sounds good. So, Carl, what about you? What would you say your go-to thing is?
Yeah, so it's a little bit out of season for this right now, but I love lamb stew.
Me too.
Any kind of lamb is like in my wheelhouse. But I found a good recipe that I use at Tesco.com, and I'll add a link to it. But it's essentially Mediterranean lamb stew with olives. And I'll just read off the ingredients, right? I'm not going to give you the whole instructions. Yeah. You got olive oil, you got a lamb neck fillet cubed. Okay. I don't know where you can get that, but if you get lamb shoulder, I'm sure it's going to be fine too. Shoulder blade chops are great. An onion, couple garlic cloves, some dry white wine, 400 grams of chopped tomatoes. You can get some orange peel with the pith removed and put that in there, right? Now you're just smelling it, right?
And those are the Mediterranean flavors. That fruit,
orange
veg,
peel.
and garlic.
That's what does it.
Yes.
Oh my God.
You got 2 sprigs of thyme. You got a red pepper, some Kalamata olives, and served with crusty bread.
Yeah, it's like the Garden of Eden right there. So,
yes. Oh my gosh.
Carl, I think I might know. I could be wrong, but Sanko's Beaverbrook Farm in up near where you are, they had a lamb farm, and I bet they can tell you how to get lamb necks.
Is that Sanko?
Sankow.
Okay.
Yeah. And they're the most wonderful people.
Yeah, it's in Lyme,
Beautiful
Connecticut.
farm. Yeah. Yep. Lamb farm.
Yeah.
Okay. So,
let's take a break.
Okay, I'm going to take a break at Carl's instruction.
I know, we got to have that in there.
No, we really do. No. I thought you were going to keep this on the air. Okay, never mind.
No.
Okay. So we're going to take a quick break, and then I'm going to come back and tell you about my version of Mediterranean eating. And I think it's got fish, and I think it's going to taste good to you. So stay with us. I'm Faith Middleton with Carl Franklin and Chris Prosperi, and we're the Food Schmooze gang at our new home, faithmiddleton.com. Okay, we're talking about Mediterranean ways of eating because this is a way of eating that's been around for so long. A lot of people have actually lost weight on this diet, but, I'm not going to count myself as one of them because when I eat these Mediterranean foods, I eat about 4 platefuls of these things.
Seconds, thirds,
a couple bottles of wine.
Oh, yes, wine.
Bring me
is
another lamb.
It's healthy eating.
So my thing is fish with olives, black olives, sometimes green olives, but black olives, a little bit of onion, garlic, and I throw it all in a foil pack. And I will even bring one of those little teeny tiny grills to the beach and just make my pack with all that stuff in it. I just throw it in. Artichoke hearts. Awesome. I throw it all in there. Tighten up the aluminum foil on my little baby grill.
I think you've cooked more dishes in tinfoil at the beach than you have at home.
Hibachi. No, it's just tinfoil, actually.
Yeah.
So, so then it just cooks away, bubbles, and then you wait about, 20 minutes or half an hour, and you open it up and it's done. And I usually use swordfish. And let me tell you, the feta cheese, the swordfish, the artichoke hearts, the olives. Oh my goodness, it's really, really good. Pour myself a glass of wine sitting right in the sand. It's great.
Yum.
Yeah, I know. So, what else do you have? Do you have some more stuff?
Well, yeah, sure. I can tell a story. I think I've told this story before, but I spent some time in Barcelona a few years ago, and I was introduced to, that's where I was introduced to jamón ibérico, and I was hooked ever since, and trying to get that and put it in my mouth as much as possible, but it's not so easy over here. But anyway, while I was in Barcelona, I went to this restaurant called Cuatro Gatos, or 4 Cats. And I had on the menu was roast leg of kid baby goat. And it was, oh my God. Goat is a very popular meat worldwide. And I had never had goat. It's a lot like lamb, but it's not quite like lamb.
Did you have to convince yourself to go for the goat?
No. I went right away. There was no, I had to allay everybody else's horror.
I know.
Yeah.
Oh, here I go with my.
I know. Then when the leg of baby goat comes smoking to your table on a sizzling platter, and everybody goes, "Oh, that poor baby goat." I'm like, "Poor baby? What are you talking about?
I
What do
know.
you have? A veal chop? Come on."
It's like, how do I disassociate myself from? I mean, I've been to these fairs and stuff where they have little baby goats running around.
Sure, they're
and
cute
I've
as
had
hell.
them in my arms and walked around with them. I mean, it's such a beautiful thing. They're so, and
They
so
are adorable.
Theoretically, I'd say, "Oh no, I can't do that." But Carl, I would.
But they're just so
I could
tasty.
see- I would.
Sorry.
I'm just a hypocrite. It's just awful.
No, it's just that they're so tasty. That sucks to
I
be
know,
them.
I know,
I'm sorry.
I know. The other day I was watching a fishing show.
Okay.
And it's called Bait Stick. It's online, and it's really good because I love to see fishing and all that.
Sure. Yeah.
And I was watching sharks and all that business.
boy.
And so I just thought to myself, this is really something, that they could just like send the rod and the bait out there, catch these fish right away, and they were just throwing them in. Then they took those baby fish and, went way out, and giant fish started to
Use them for bait. Yeah.
Yeah, they used them for bait.
Yeah.
It was really incredibly something. So,
Well, fish is like one of the central proteins of the Mediterranean diet,
Yeah,
of course.
of course.
And there's one fish that I've never had that I need to have someday, which is branzino.
Oh, yeah.
oh yeah.
We farm raise it here in this country now.
Carl, you're going to love it. I
Yeah.
know. What do we call it? We call it something else,
Yeah,
right?
branzino is, I've heard the name. Maybe it has a
Sea bass, maybe?
different. Yeah.
Sea
that-
bass, yeah.
Yeah, but we have some farms in Connecticut. There's one in Waterbury now, and then there's a big one in Western Mass.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, we get it from them, and it's good. Oh, it's so good.
You do.
So it's not a saltwater fish.
No, it's a saltwater fish, but they farm
It
it.
is.
They can
Okay,
farm it
they-
in
But
tanks. Yeah,
they're
they
So
farm
they
it in
farm it.
saltwater. Mhm.
In
Yeah,
saltwater. Okay.
Yeah.
Wow. Yeah, I've never had it, but I hear it's great, and especially when decked out,
Really
with
good.
the crispy skin and the olive oil.
Oh,
and salt and
yeah.
pepper.
Oh, my God. You know what I forgot to do is say Ariston.
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
I should have said Ariston olive oil because that's right in Connecticut.
Oh my gosh, the
It's
best.
really, really good.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. Oh, and I should say full disclosure, they were a sponsor of our show here, this show. I just wanted to make that clear and that people will just trust that I'm not saying that just because they're a sponsor.
I love their olive oil. It has a peppery kind of bite to it in the back of the
Yeah.
throat. Oh, it's just and it just makes you want to eat more and more and more.
Yeah.
It's
It's from their family, and it's their olives are grown in Kalamata, Greece.
yes.
On a hillside, not technically organic, but absolutely organic.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's really delicious olive oil.
So I have a little bit of a experience with that. I went to Tuscany in 2019, I think, or 26. No, it must have been 2017. Whatever. I went there because my daughter Emmy was an au pair for a family in just outside Florence. Anyway, they lived on an olive grove. And the patriarch of the family made his own small batch olive oil.
Yeah.
And so I learned what makes it dark and bitter, and that's the leaves.
Oh.
I didn't know that.
Yes.
Wow.
When the leaves are pressed with extra virgin olive oil, that's what gives it that peppery, bitter
No
kind of
kidding.
flavor.
So they can control that
Wow,
by
that's
adding
interesting.
leaves or not adding.
Right, exactly.
Not adding leaves. Wow. Didn't
So
know
it's like
that.
winemaking in
It
a way.
is very
Yeah.
similar. They also had a grape vineyard, and he also made his wine. He only made it for his friends. It was crazy.
Yeah. Olive oil is an amazing thing. I've had some from Provence, and when they brought it into me to taste, there's this one, and these are single vineyard or single grove olive oil. So they're just from one space, and then they go even more specific at this one place that we used to buy from, and they had single tree olive oil.
What?
From a specific tree. That's how they had this one, and it was back, 10, 15 years ago, it was like $70 a liter. So it was really expensive.
Yeah.
So you just used it as a drizzle, but it tasted like bananas. I don't
Yes,
know why.
I've had olive oil
and
that tastes like bananas.
It literally tasted like bananas.
I've had some of that.
A little
It's
drizzle
amazing.
on fish. And again, it's expensive, but you would use just a couple drops, and you'd get those as it heats up on the hot fish. Those aromas and those flavors. Oh my gosh, that's
Or on
why olive
garlic
oil is
bread.
such an amazing thing.
It is.
Yeah.
I know I've had olive oil that I said, this has a banana flavor to it.
It's crazy,
And so,
right?
yeah, I must have been the fourth tree on the left. Do you think they name the trees, or do they just numbered?
This place had their trees numbered, and different olives give because of the soil, just like wine, because of where it is in the soil and the type of olive and blah, blah, blah. It has all these different flavors that come out of it.
It'd be funny if they named them. Like, this is Fred. This is Marge.
Yeah. There's a fruit maker and seller, jams and stuff like that in California. And those are one tree jams.
That's great,
and each
right?
tree has a different flavor to it, the way shellfish on the bottom of the ocean. You could just be a few yards away and it's a whole different flavor of oyster. So it's true with fruit trees too.
Yeah.
This is
Crazy,
made from
right?
tree 46.
Yeah.
I want 45. I'm all out of 45. You're going to have 46. It's right next to it. It's just as good. No, it's not.
So funny.
It's so true.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
What about cheeses? Cheeses from the Mediterranean.
just-
I mean,
I'll
Italy.
take
I mean,
any of
cheese.
them.
Oh.
I'll take any of them.
feta, obviously.
Yes. Goat cheese.
A favorite of
feta.
yours, Faith.
Yes. Oh.
I like the feta that's in brine, when you get it, because it has it's not all
Tangy.
dried out, and it's more tangy. Yeah.
Yes.
Although Mount Vikos is a feta you can buy in supermarkets. I mean, large supermarkets. And it's from Greece. And you think, and I scoured the package. Do you know, this is manufactured in Greece, or do you mean it's really from Greece? And it turns out it really is from Greece. It is absolutely delicious.
What's the name of that one?
It's expensive. Mount M-E, so it's M-T, Vikos, V-I-K-O-S.
I've seen it at the fancier Big Y's.
Okay.
I've had it. It is really good.
Really good.
I have
Really
one in the
good.
fridge, but I honestly don't know which brand it is. It was the only one that was at Big Y that was in brine, so I'll have a full report next week.
The French feta is much milder than some of the other fetas we're talking about.
I'm like you, Faith. I like
Yeah.
the ones with that bite,
Yeah, tang.
Yeah.
There's
right?
like
That
a tang,
tang.
right?
Yeah, that tangy. Yeah.
I found a really good alternative to brie. I love brie, but I usually don't get it because there's more rind than cheese usually. And so, but there's a good, like I said, a sort of a brie like cheese called Hermitage.
Oh, okay.
Do you know of this?
No.
Yes, I do.
Oh, you do? Yeah.
And Carl, do they have it at the cheese place that I met you at?
They probably do. That would be
where's that? Is that
Fromage in
is
Old
that-
Saybrook.
Old Saybrook fromage. Okay.
I get it at Big Y, but usually when I go there and look for it, there's only one because it's so popular that people are buying. But it's big and thick and creamy and
Listen, talk to each other for a minute because I'm going to look something up on my
Okay.
phone. This is a cheese place that I used to send away to. It's in France.
Oh, wow.
And they make unpasteurized cheese. It's the only place in the world, I think, that is allowed to do this.
do you have it shipped? That would be
You
interesting.
have it shipped, and
Really?
you'll know
Kidding.
it when it comes in the mail
bet.
because
Oh,
it's
it
like
says a little
the
stink
whole
to it.
lobby.
The whole you're like,
lobby is
oh,
filled
Faith's
with-
getting cheese again.
And how do I know? I went to a hotel at the airport and there was like a delay.
Yeah.
And so I had to sleep over. And I was with someone and we were sleeping over. And I had the cheese with me from fromage.com.
Yep.
And we went out to breakfast in the hotel and then came back in to get our stuff together. The heat had come on. It was like, what
warm,
in the
stinky
world is
cheese.
going
Oh,
on
my.
in here? It stinks in here. It's like,
It's a good way to ruin a car.
Yeah, but that's a smell I love. Ooh.
Yeah. Okay.
oh,
Yeah,
I know.
I'm a
I
cheese
know.
fiend sometimes.
I
love
usually
it.
keep a pound of coffee beans in my car just because I love the smell of coffee. It's like the best
yeah.
deodorizer.
Yep.
Oh.
And
Yeah,
takes
I'm a
all the
coffee-
car smells
yeah.
away.
Oh, I can't find it. I'm sorry.
That's all right.
But it was
That's all right.
called-
Well, if we find it, we'll put it
called
online.
Fromage. Okay, so Carl's saying he's going to make sure that gets up there. He's our guy that also does that, and we thank him very much for that. So
it's called Fromage something in France?
Fromage.com.
Oh, okay.
And it's in France. I hope it's still there.
Let me take a look.
I know. I just tried to, and my internet seems to be down.
I think I might have found it. Fromage.fr looks promising. And they do have a couple of unpasteurized cheese or uncooked cheeses, they called them. So we'll check that out.
Oh, yeah.
I'll add that.
Boy. It was expensive. I have to say that, even back in the day.
But well worth it, I'm sure.
Oh my goodness. I have never, you know how when you go to European countries and they have that unpasteurized cheese and you just like, you're just going, how do they do this? How?
And if you're in France, you get a nice baguette with it, and you just grab your pocket knife and just sit there
Bottle of wine.
Oh my gosh.
Some olive oil.
That's all you need, right?
I gotta say,
you don't need anything else.
In France, when they're walking around with those white bags with the baguette in it, and the baguette has been slipped in, but it's been sliced a long way, and they have put butter and ham on that thing.
That's all you need.
Is
just like one
stunning.
slice, one thin slice of cured ham.
Stunning.
All you need.
Yeah. Yeah, it's not this big honking sandwich, right? It's this like thin slice of ham, and that's all you need.
No. Oh my God.
We're used to deli meats that don't have flavor, right?
Yeah,
because
you have
the
to pile it
baguettes
on
are so
there.
incredible.
Yeah, their breads
they
are.
say it's the water. I don't know.
And I think it's a little of everything. It's the flour,
It's the water,
it's the
sun, and it's the soil.
It's the tradition and everything
Yeah, the
else, too.
tradition, and
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
love it.
So good.
So are you folks hungry? I'm hungry.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. And you know what? I'm going to eat like that tonight. I am totally eating the Mediterranean way tonight.
What do you
because
have at home
I'm going to
that
grill
can
some
do that?
veggies. Yeah. I'm going to, if it stopped here, just started raining, but I'm going to get the grill and I'll get a little umbrella and I don't care. I'll grill some, whatever I have for vegetables. I know I have some eggplant, right? And maybe a couple plump tomatoes. That's the thing. You don't need much.
No, you don't need much.
Yeah.
And I know I have hummus in the freezer.
Roasted red peppers.
And you can just cut up a bunch of vegetables, even if they're a little bit old in your refrigerator, cut them up in a little small size, about 1/2-inch cubes and throw them in some olive oil in your fry pan.
That's it.
And, cook those up, cook them up, and then throw in your whatever. You want to throw in some shrimp. You could actually throw in some chicken, probably maybe not so much beef in our Mediterranean way of eating, but
definitely chicken,
oh boy,
fish.
is that good. And you can
Yummy.
put actually
lamb.
with that dish, you can put in more. Yes, lamb. Yeah. That's good, Carl. You can put in more vegetables, like 2/3 vegetables and 1/3 chunks of whatever protein you want to put in there.
Right.
And
if what we said before is true, like you get some cured meat and you don't need much of it to get the flavor, even some pancetta.
Oh yeah. I forgot about pancetta. Start with some pancetta, little
You don't need much
in
of
there.
it.
Then that's all you need, right? You wouldn't need to put fish or chicken or anything, just little bits of, and it flavor it. It's more about how it flavors it than eating little pieces of the pancetta. It's the liquid that comes out of the pancetta that flavors everything. Oh, so
what a
good.
beautiful way of eating.
It is wonderful.
I'm sorry, but it just really is.
Agreed.
Okay. All right. Well, hey, this was fun. And, we're going to be back next week as always. And, we'll be, and we're dreaming up some things to share with you and can't wait. So to Carl Franklin and Chris Prosperi, thank you so much. I'm Faith Middleton. We are at faithmiddleton.com and we'll see you.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Waiting for the summer to come.